Hey everybody, welcome back to Quali-Tea time. It is so good to be back online. I'll get to that in a quick minute, but first couple pieces of news. In about a week from now, exactly, in fact, I have a hair appointment, and that is to get my hair dyed. It is currently, well, it's blonde. I am naturally blonde, but if you have the wrong lighting and stuff, it just looked kind of brown, which makes sense, that's both of my parents, I guess. But I actually prefer it being a much brighter blonde, and I haven't really had that since quite a while. There are definitely photographs of me with much brighter blonde hair, so I'm gonna get that dyed so that it actually is the kind of brightness that I would prefer it to be. I know a lot of people would like to see me with vibrant pink, or vibrant blue, or blonde but with like streaks of red in it and such, but for right now I'm just getting it blonde. That's all I need for the moment. I will probably like take the GoPro with me along to the salon again, but of course since it happens on the vlog date, you will not see it happen in the next video, but you'll probably see something in the video after that. Just, you know, something to look forward to. The other thing is that last Wednesday, would you say the Wednesday that I suddenly went completely dark, I went suit shopping, which was rather nice. Took the train to Newcastle, met up with my mum, had a nice kind of day out. Neither of us is a particularly huge fan of clothes shopping, but nonetheless, it was fun. And I think I'm decently set for an outfit for the first wedding I've got coming up, which is in a couple of weeks from now. You'll probably see some pictures of that. You'll probably see some footage of that, I don't know. Not of the wedding, because heck knows I'm not being paid to record it, but you know. But I'm gonna keep that stum because at least one person involved is probably watching this video. So, you know, keep it a surprise. Just to torment him just a teensy bit. But then, of course, we now get to the big story of the day, which is what the hell happened last Wednesday that left me basically completely inert for most of a week. So, I wake up and I do a few things around the computery spaces and whatnot before I head off to the train station, and I put Elemental into sleep mode, which I don't normally do, but I figured, what the hell, it's not gonna be that huge a problem. Come back home many hours later, and find that he won't come out of sleep mode. Okay, turn him off, turn him back on, doesn't even get to having an output on the monitors. None of the peripherals are functioning, so the keyboard's dead, the mouse is dead. The only thing that has any kind of slight sign of life is the Stream Deck, which just registers that it has power. Do some digging the next day, because by that point I was already exhausted. Do some digging, and no diagnostic material really available, except, thankfully, Elemental's motherboard includes debug LEDs. So there is a series of LEDs on the top right of it, which say, hey, there's an error, and then it gives me a light that tells me what thing is potentially probably having the error. It also gives me an error code. The error code was less useful because it was just power has happened, but the error light was on, and the one particular light indicating the likely source of the error was the CPU. Now, the CPU is a Intel 7820X, and we've had it for just under a year, like 11 months almost to the date. When I bought it, it was about 400 quid. Now they actually go for around 600. I don't know why, but it sucks. So, yep, I put some tweets out, but not everybody saw those, so hey, here's the story for you. More or less, at that stage, it was, well, now I need a prayer because we have no other motherboards that could fit Elemental's equipment, and no other CPU that could fit that motherboard. We did a lot. I shaved things down a fair bit before we moved, so I don't really have much in the way of spare parts anymore. Fortunately, a call went out amongst the community, and more than one, I'm given to understanding, very generous person put together a pot, and we managed to get enough to get a duplicate 7820X from a different site that's cheaper than Amazon at the very least. Oh, I don't know what the warranty's gonna be like if that one burns out in 11 months. We'll see. And then all I had to do was wait for 4 days. with nothing to do at all because I had my tablet, and I have 2 different laptops, but the most powerful of those 2 laptops has 4 gigabytes of RAM and 5 gigabytes of remaining drive space. So they're not exactly powerhouses for any purpose whatsoever, which is entertaining because that most powerful one actually was the supporter of most of my early YouTube career. How times change. Couldn't do coding, couldn't do really anything online, had access to Twitter and YouTube and stuff, didn't really have access to Crunchyroll, barely had access to Netflix, couldn't really watch any DVDs except for on my dinky little desktop DVD player, and even then most of my DVDs are still entombed in the front room here where all of the supplies for decorating are currently taking up most of the space, so not really much access there. I think I mostly just managed to watch Alien because I happen to have that on my desk. But yeah, I did every single household chore I could possibly find around the Fox Den in the span of those 4 days, and by the end of it, I very much was contemplating ramming my head into a wall until I was rendered unconscious, because that would be a fairly effective way of skipping time. But Monday rolled around, hurrah, hurrah, and the delivery guy was skeevy as all hell and tried to hit on me, but I cared less in the moment at the very least, because hey, CPU, I can do things again! So hastily installed that, booted him up, and hey, here we are again. And that has been the story more or less of my last week, and why I didn't do any videos or streams or such, and also why I don't have a backlog of streams and videos and such, because I physically couldn't do anything. Which is why there wasn't a video yesterday, because I could not actually have remotely accomplished filming anything. I don't think Hawk even has Steam installed anymore. I could have played Dead by Daylight if I wanted to. Yeah, that was fun. Other than that, there's not been terribly much going on, because there couldn't have been. So, wave that onto the schedule. Our upcoming streams for the week begin on Thursday at 9 PM BST with Midnight Destiny 2, where we're taking on the Shattered Throne. Then on Friday at 9 PM BST, we have Friday Night with Dead by Daylight, and Rank Reset is once again coming to my aid. Then on Saturday at 7 PM BST, we have Dungeons & Dragon Hats, where the trio finally returns to continue the mystery of the archaeological dig, followed of course at 9 PM BST with the Carousel. And lastly for the week at 9 PM BST on Tuesday, we have more building blocks as we're finally working on our T-Rex AI now that our chunky boy is looking like one heck of a unit. Obviously there weren't really any videos to talk about since the last week, because there really wasn't a last week, but so, on to the questions as ever. We have one question today. Now remember, if you have anything to ask me, drop it in the comments section down below, and we'll see if it gets picked for the next vlog. Our one question comes from Mushroom Turtle. I've watched Yokai Temple, what should I watch next? There's a lot of different things in my backlog. There's a fair bit of Minecraft, there's a fair bit of Timber and Stone, there's a few other things. If you've watched Yokai Temple and enjoyed it, then you're probably going to enjoy Witch in the Woods, which ties in directly with it. Night of Fangs is an obvious counterpoint, where one is managing a large group of people very well, and the other one less so. Edgington has a less of a basis on storyline, but it has a similar sort of town management aspect, and I think probably beyond that, the XCOM series that I've done, I think I've done about 3 of them at this stage, are relatively linear because they all have to ultimately fit the storyline of XCOM, but the units involved get a lot of different character development and such through some surprisingly epic moments. I think the ending of XCOM 2 is always going to be like one of my most epic moments on camera, but yeah, so check those out is my recommendation. But Witch in the Woods, that kind of thing, you'll probably be fairly okay if you enjoyed Yokai Temple. And that is it for today. So, hope you've all enjoyed, and catch you all next time.